In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew urges bold action on sustainable energy at OECS meeting. United States freezes funding for UN mission in Haiti amid ongoing gang crisis. And Trump's proposal to take control of Gaza faces widespread global rejection. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, has called for decisive action in advancing the region's transition to sustainable energy. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the Third Council of OECS Energy Ministers meeting hosted in St. Kitts, Dr. Drew highlighted the need for energy security, investment in renewables, and regional collaboration to drive economic growth. Delivering his address under the theme Sustainable Energy, Creating Opportunities for Reinventing the Economy of the OECS, Dr. Drew emphasized that energy is a key economic enabler with the potential to reshape the region's future. He stated, quote, "Energy security is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Reducing our dependence on imported energy will stabilize costs, shield our economies from external shocks, and provide affordable, reliable electricity for our people," end quote. He stressed the urgency of implementing renewable energy projects, noting that access to financing remains a major challenge. He called for innovative funding solutions, including concessional financing, public-private partnerships, green bonds, and blended finance models. Pointing to the potential for job creation, investment, and technological advancement, he added, quote, "The road to economic resilience in the OECS is paved with clean energy solutions," end quote. Dr. Drew also championed regional integration, advocating for initiatives such as interconnection grids and submarine energy cables to facilitate electricity trade. He urged OECS nations to adopt successful models like geothermal advancements in Guadeloupe and Martinique, and to expand initiatives such as the Eastern Caribbean Solar Challenge. He said, quote, "This meeting must not be just another conversation. It must be a platform for decisive action," end quote. Dr. Drew reaffirmed St. Kitts and Nevis's commitment to regional energy collaboration, emphasizing that with strong leadership, strategic policies, and collective action, the OECS can achieve energy independence and long-term economic resilience. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws says strict adherence to infection prevention and control measures would ensure the containment of infectious diseases like the hand, foot, and mouth disease, among others.
If the schools take on this information in terms of being consistent in terms of practicing the infection prevention and control measures, we would not only contain this current hand, foot, and mouth disease outbreak, but any infectious disease that impacts any child in such settings, you wouldn't have an outbreak because you would have contained it. So, for example, we are in the flu season, and so you're going to have children with coughs and colds, etc. That too is contagious. Mm-hmm. However, if the schools practice, cleaning the common, the high-touch surfaces where the children play, eat, study, or, do their school work, the toys that they share, the faucets where they wash their hands or go to the toilet, you would decrease the spread of not only hand, foot, and mouth disease, but any infectious disease that any of the children may be experiencing.
Hand, foot, and mouth disease is a contagious viral illness that primarily affects infants. The Ministry of Health urges parents, guardians, and child care professionals to be vigilant and aware of the symptoms, which include fever, sore throat, painful sores often in the mouth, rash on the hands, feet, and buttocks, loss of appetite, and irritability, especially in infants and toddlers. Dwight James of farm site Sandy Point has been sentenced to 18 years in His Majesty's prison for manslaughter by virtue of diminished capacity. James was initially charged with murder following the fatal incident on August 8, 2022, which resulted in the death of Louise K. James, also of farm site Sandy Point. However, he pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter on November 28, 2024. On February 3, 2025, Justice Ian Morley, KC, handed down the sentence at the High Court in Basseterre. James's time spent on remand will be deducted from his sentence, and he will be eligible for early release after serving 1/3 of his term with good behavior. The ruling marks the conclusion of a case that has drawn significant public interest, highlighting legal considerations surrounding diminished capacity in serious criminal matters. And we move now to news on the regional scene. The United States has announced it will freeze its funding for the UN-backed mission in Haiti, which aims to combat violent gangs controlling much of the capital, Port-au-Prince. As the mission's largest donor, the U.S. had previously committed $15 million, but that support is now suspended. UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric confirmed the freeze would significantly impact operations, with $13.3 million of the initial funds now blocked. The decision follows a broader U.S. policy shift under President Donald Trump, which has led to cuts in foreign assistance worldwide. Haiti is currently facing a severe gang crisis, with organized groups engaged in violent activities such as kidnapping and extortion. This has resulted in over 5,600 deaths in the past year and displaced more than 1 million people. The ongoing violence has also disrupted aid delivery, worsening the country's humanitarian crisis. Bermuda's health authorities are investigating a suspected case of measles and have implemented public health measures to identify and notify potential exposures. The Ministry of Health stressed the importance of a swift response to prevent an outbreak, highlighting the need for contact tracing and immunization efforts. Minister of Health Kim Wilson urged individuals, especially children and young adults, to ensure they are vaccinated with both doses of the measles, mumps, and rubella or MMR vaccine to protect themselves and the community. Measles symptoms include fever, cough, runny nose, sore eyes, and a rash that spreads from the face to the body. Health officials are closely monitoring the situation. Internationally, President Donald Trump's proposal to have the U.S. take control of the Gaza Strip and permanently resettle its Palestinian population has sparked global backlash. Announced during a White House press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the plan includes rebuilding Gaza, creating settlements outside the region, and transforming it into a major economic hub. The idea, proposed amid a fragile Israel-Hamas ceasefire, was quickly rejected by countries like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Leaders from Australia, Ireland, China, and others reaffirmed support for a two-state solution. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas urged the UN to protect Palestinian rights. In the U.S., lawmakers, including Democratic Senator Chris Coons and Representative Rashida Tlaib, condemned the remarks, with Tlaib accusing Trump of supporting ethnic cleansing. The proposal raised concerns about U.S. involvement in international humanitarian issues, particularly after recent foreign aid cuts. And finally, in international news, Americans may see higher prices for products from Shein and Temu after the U.S. Postal Service stopped accepting parcels from China and Hong Kong. This follows the U.S. government's decision to impose a 10% tariff on Chinese goods and end the tax-free exemption for small value parcels. The change is expected to delay shipments and raise costs, particularly for Shein, which relies on USPS for direct shipping. Temu, with its bulk shipping model, may have more flexibility. Both companies are likely to turn to private carriers, which could disrupt their business models. And now for the weather. Present weather is fair skies with showers in the vicinity. Winds are a moderate breeze of 14 miles per hour from the northeast. The temperature for today is 27 degrees Celsius or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. The weather forecast for today predicts partly cloudy skies with a 40% or moderate chance of passing showers. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of passing showers. Sunset for today will be at 6:09 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow will be at 6:41 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shani Carvey.